base running for the good of all of us is mental. All right, we're going to look and point things out and visualize. Okay, so we're going to start in the batter's box. I always like to use this. It's parody. All right, home plate, shaped like a house. All right, it's the story of our day. We start out at our home. All right, we venture away from the house. And by the end of the day, what do we want to do? We want to get home safely. All right, so it's kind of what it's all about. All right, we're going to leave home plate. We're going to go out there in some danger land where somebody might get us out. All right, or stop us from getting back to where we want to be. But the ultimate goal is to get back right here. All right, touch home plate. Count how many times people touch home plate. All right. Senior, we don't touch home plate, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And then whoever gets home safely the most ends up winning the game. So here we are teaching you how to hit and how to get on first base or get on second base. Now I'm going to try to teach you how to get home safely. All right. So you got to be a smart base runner. The fastest base runner isn't always the smartest base runner. Okay. At the University of Miami, back when we played, our best base runner, his nickname was Fat Rat. All right. So what's that tell you? Probably wasn't the fastest guy. All right. But Mike Fiore was one of the best base runners that we had. So it's not all about being fast. It's also about being smart. All right. When we swing, lefties got a little bit of advantage, don't they? Yep. They're 4 feet closer already. All right. And a lot of the lefties, give me a lefty swing, Alan, open up. When Alan hits and rotates and opens up, he's already now, he rotates a little bit more and he's a little bit ahead of me. So those lefties have a little bit of advantage. Take advantage of that. All right. Now us righties, we talk about rotating, getting the hips through. All right. There is nothing wrong with over rotating, really getting through it. And then when we fall, we're actually falling towards first base. Okay. Those of you that are on your heels and you're bailing out and you fall this way, what have you done? You made it a longer. You just took 70 feet and turned it into 75. Okay? So when we rotate, it's okay. We're going to actually go. Now be careful stepping on the board. Sometimes the board's slippery and it'll slip out from under you. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, everybody look this way. All right. Can you tell me where the baseline is? Anybody? Tell me where the baseline is.
Foul territory. Literally?
Gary, where's the baseline?
That line.
How many people say this is it right here?
It's not the path you take, but that's the line.
All right. Everybody know where the baseline is?
It's between the two white lines.
What you make
White line?
Between them.
No, this isn't the baseline. This is the foul line.
Where the
The foul
runner
line.
Yeah.
runs.
This is the foul line. All right. The baseline is wherever you make it. You understand that? The runner creates the baseline. You do not have to run in a straight line to first base. You can go any which way you want to go. You establish the baseline. And then when a fielder is making a play on you, you get 3 feet to the right or to the left. You get 3 feet to the right or to the left. How far is 3 feet? These are 12s. 1, 2, 3. About this far.
Length of a bat.
All right? That's not a lot. So when an umpire calls you out on the baseline, they don't call people out on the baseline enough. All right? First of all, you establish the baseline, and then you have 3 feet to avoid a tag. It's not a lot. So when people really run around the tag, if you're the one trying to apply the tag, you need to bring it up to the umpire. Hey, he's out of the baseline. He only gets 3 feet. Okay, so understand that.
So that's 3 total feet.
Nope.
Either way.
3 feet either way. So it's 6
foot
feet.
span.
But if you chose to go one way, you only get 3 feet. Go ahead.
Can it be inside the foul line?
Yes.
Yes, it can.
Yes.
Okay.
It can be inside the
Now,
foul line.
now if you're doing something like this, you know,
Yeah.
extreme, you're probably going to get called out.
And that's what
Well, isn't there a rule if you're not? So you do establish your baseline on this going
Yep.
to first.
Yep, hold yourself there. Good. Good. So the next question is, what is that crazy line right there?
Running.
Why did they not bring it all the way down here? They're saving paint?
Yeah.
No. That's actually called a running lane. And the only time that comes into play is if there is a play at first, mostly from the catcher. All right, so in baseball, that's really important because somebody drops a bunt down and the catcher runs out here and grabs it. If he goes to throw it to first, go ahead, Alan, and run inside the line. If Alan's run, no, that's too. You're good doing that.
Oh, you went inside this
Yeah.
one.
If he's running there and I hit him in the back, he's out.
That's
Because he's out of the running lane.
That's called dodgeball. Right?
Okay, we don't see that much in softball. We don't see it that much in softball. So that line there is rarely ever used. But don't be confused. Some people would say, this is the baseline and that's my 3 feet line. All right, that's not what it is. Okay, that's a running lane. So understand that if you're going to second and you see the second baseman coming in to field the ball, you may want to start early enough to avert that person. Start running around that tag before they field it. Now, once they come after you, you get 3 more feet. But if you start running at Tom and Tom's fielding, and then I decide I want to run around him, I'm going to end up out of the baseline.
You're not going to be able to get around the tag in 3 feet is what we're getting at.
Right. So think ahead. If somebody's fielding the ball, give them some room. What happens if you run into somebody fielding the ball? But I'm in the baseline.
The obstruction, the fielder's making a play.
Who's out?
The
The
runner.
runner is out. You cannot obstruct a person who is fielding the ball. Okay?
Does that include like on a throw too?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
If they are making a play on a ball, fielding it, ground ball, or catching it on the throw, you cannot run into them. All right? If they are not making a play on the ball and you run into them, that is called obstruction. All right? Now they're in the wrong. You're running along, and all of a sudden it happens here at first base a lot. You round first base, and there's that first baseman looking at the ball in right field, and now you try to avoid him or her, and you hurt yourself because you all of a sudden tried to avoid. I'm not telling you to run her over or run him over, but run him over, run into him. Okay, it's a delayed call. The umpire will put his arm out. All right, you must continue on to the next base. You must continue on, and then if they throw you out, hopefully the umpire had the arm out and would call obstruction and give you the base that he thought you could have got. If they hit you there and the ball's in the corner and he thinks you could have got a triple out of it, he should award you third base. Okay?
You see a lot of this where some umpires call obstruction, but they don't think forward enough to do that second base. But that is the rule. You
But the
might
problem is
end
if-
up educating an umpire here or there.
If you hit that person and stop and don't try to go to second, they're not going to award you second base. You have to put your faith in the umpire that they called obstruction. So the good thing is maybe peek at them or make it a note. Say, hey.
I'll
Make it
yell
obvious
obstruction.
enough.
Make it obvious to them, okay? Real quick.
One of the things that happens a lot where I'm from is the plays at second base because we don't slide a lot of
Yep.
the range. So if you get that ball coming in at the same time the runner's coming into the base, where's the obstruction?
We're going to get to that when we get to second base. Great question, and think about it, all right? Obstruction at second base.
Similar question, because this came up in our league. At first, the ball was thrown wide.
Yep.
So the first baseman didn't have possession of the ball yet, but he was going to it,
Yep.
and the runner and he collided. Is that still the runner's
He is making a play on a thrown ball.
But he doesn't have it yet. That's,
Runner has to avoid him, but that's where the safety base comes into play. All right? So we'll talk about the safety base from here. If we hit a ground ball in the infield and we run down the line, we are supposed to use the orange base, the safety base. Okay? The fielder gets the white base, you get the orange base. If the first baseman touches the orange base at all with their foot, you're supposed to be called safe. Okay?
It's your territory.
They can only use the white one. Now, here's the gray area. The throw is up the line, the throw moves, and now that first baseman slides back to catch the ball. You now have the right to go inside and touch the white base to avoid contact. It's a safety rule for senior softball, all right? And we want to avoid contact if at all possible. Somebody's going to get hurt, all right? Our bones are a little more brittle. So we don't want to be bumping and running into people.
There's safety issues on all these bases that Bob's going to get to. Like second base is different, first base is different. We have safety issues at home. So, and they're all good rules for us as seniors to avoid collisions at all. You know, usually nobody wins.
Okay? So just to understand. So getting out of the box, it's okay to take a peek. All right? Just a peek. You don't want to watch the whole play develop, because we all know running forward, we should be looking forward. We shouldn't be looking left or right, or definitely shouldn't be looking backwards. Okay? So take a peek and just see if it was fielded or if it got through. Because if it got through, you need to change your strategy as you get into first base. If it got fielded, you need to stay, all right, and hit that orange base. Everybody understand that? So get out of the box, get out of the line, take a peek, and look and see if the ball got through or not, all right, and then continue on your path.
So Bob just mentioned different strategy. There's two different strategies here at first base. He's gonna tell you why, and we're gonna show you why. So keep that in the back of your head. The base hit is a different strategy than the potential of you going on to second. Two different strategies.
All right, so the infield field is just get down the line. Unfortunately, 2 times in senior softball, we got people that'll hit it, go here, and then they'll go.
All the time.
You know?
All the time.
You know, I'm sorry, we're going to play an hour of softball. We got 24 hours in a day. Please hustle a little bit. I don't expect you to sprint it out. You know, there's some high school coaches that you hit a one-hopper to the pitcher and he throws it to first. You're out by the time you went 5 steps, and they demand that you sprint all the way to first base. I get it. We're sending a message there. But what you can do as a base runner is put pressure on the defense.
Yep.
So what? He or she fielded it. He or she still has to throw it across the field to a first baseman who now has to catch it on the bag. Okay? So just run it out. Run it out. Get yourself going. Put a little bit of pressure on that defense. Okay? Everybody understand that? We all have that person on our team that doesn't run. How do you feel about that?
Not a good teammate.
These are the 2 points that you add to your on-base percentage.
Right.
You brought it up. Remember how we talked on-base percentage is the key number, right? If one time in a weekend of a tournament, you hustled and created a forced throw, you've got another 20, 30 points maybe on that OBP. But again, we talked about how many times do you win a game by 1 run? How many times do you lose a game by 1 run? That play right there could win you a game. And we had it in a championship game where there was a missed throw. The guy that was running isn't the fastest runner at all on the team, but he did complete the run, and the throw was hurried, and it changed the complexion of the whole game. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep. So please don't be that guy or don't be that girl. Hit it. You just ground it out. Sure, you're not fun. You're a little upset you made an out. All right, but get down the line, put a little pressure on the defense. Once the first baseman catches it and you're out, you're good. All right, you can stop and get in the dugout and save a little energy. Depends on if you're playing 5 games in a day or not. All right, but get out of the box, get down the line, put a little bit of pressure on the defense. Okay, you with me so far?
Yep.
All right, now let's walk this way a little bit. So rule number 1 mentally is know your limitations. Some of us are good runners, some of us aren't. You got a bad knee, you tweak the hamstring a little bit, be smart. All right, I've got to stop this guy all the time. He's after hurt. He's still sprinting and doing dumb stuff. Yeah, I want to stop right here is good. I want him to be available for the next pitch. All right, so know your limitations. Know your limitations. All right, and if you are hurting, make sure your teammates know a little bit. Look, not feeling, hamstring's tight today. I don't know. So they know that if you didn't sprint, you're just trying to protect yourself so you get through the game. All right. So just make that aware and know your body and know your limitations. All right.
And there's no issue too with a potential injury that you start to feel. Don't be too proud to ask for a runner. It's a great rule in senior softball, to preserve yourself. Like Bob said, you play for the whole day or the whole game, not just.
All right, so now you just hit it and you watched it, you saw it get through the infield. Okay, so now we don't want to run through the base now. The ball's in the outfield. What do? Well, we're going to do the us
Yeah,
coaches
you ever see
getting
it on
out of here.
baseball? It kind of looks real cool. You see that guy right out of the box. He's like way out here. What we're trying to teach you here, the same way of hands back up and in, of having a little efficiency in the swing. This is efficiency in running the bases. Remember, fastest is a straight line. We've got to make this a banana turn, but don't make it too slow because you're adding distance.
Get about halfway down the line, and then you want to curl out a little bit here, all right? And then you want to cut the corner as quick as you can and get yourself heading to second base.
What foot did he hit the space
All right.
with? Right foot?
Oh, no, don't go there yet. Don't go there yet. All right? So just understand that. We're trying to round off the bag so we can get on a straight line to second. If you run straight to it and then you make your left turn, you're going to end up way out there again. You're just making the distance. Took the longer route. No, you can touch the white base. The only time you touch the orange base is there's a play being made at first base. Okay, the ball gets through the infield, and you know it is. You can round it out, and then you're going to touch inside, or you're going to touch this base. All right, so let's do it one time. I want everybody at home plate. Everybody at home plate. We're going to hit a double.
We're going to have a nice little train going here.
I want you to round first.
We don't need any speed damage, but this is a
Yeah, we're not. There's no clock on you.
no clock on it. Just a nice smooth jog.
Alan, you stand here. Make them run by the inside of you here. Then they're going to stand right here. Do this inside again. Yeah, then they're going to banana. Well, maybe come back.
Yeah.
All right, we're doing a slalom course here. You're going to go to the right of Alan. All right?
You're going to run straight at me here first, right? And then about here, which is about half of the baseline, you're going to come around me. If you hit me, I'm going to knock you down. We're going.
My money's on
You're going to go inside of Alan, and then you're going to banana out and get around me.
Here's where I'm standing. So let's do a little replication here.
We want you to take the swing too, okay? We're gonna get in the box, we're gonna take a swing, we're gonna run inside here.
When we get to here, we slightly come out here.
All right.
Okay?
Got it? All right, go ahead. Hit it, go. When he gets halfway, the next person goes. All right, curl out. Touch the inside corner. Get halfway to second.
Nice and easy.
Then stop. Good. Right
New
there,
running
halfway to
form,
second.
right? Don't forget what you learned. You guys are fast now. Run.
No, Alan, I want them inside of you. No.
Go, you want them in and then come
Inside of
out.
Alan.
Inside, then curl.
Now curl out. Now curl out. Now curl out. After you pass him, now start your banana. There you go.
There you go.
Touch the inside corner of the white base. Touch the inside corner of the white base. Curl out. Touch the inside corner of the white base. All right, you can stay down here now, gang. Once you do it, go, 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 go. Inside corner.
Look at that running form. Nice job.
Round it. Curl out. Curl out. You gotta curl out.
Don't forget the
Pass
banana
Alan,
curl, guys.
curl out.
Remember, we're rounding.
There you go.
We're rounding, getting ready to go to second. The ball's in the outfield here.
Round it out. Go.
Different strategy, right? If we're hitting a ball in the infield, we're going straight to that orange bag. There's no banana. You only get a banana because you're rewarded for hitting a ball in the outfield.
Come on, Anna. Catch her. Good. There it is. There's your curl out. Curl it out. Lean into it. Very nice. All right, everybody over here. All right, $1 million question you're going to answer by raising your hand. Do not be intimidated by the person next to you. Do not cheat off the person next to you. This is your answer.
I'm
all
the
right?
doctor.
All right, ready. We just rounded the base a little bit. All right, here we go. What foot do I touch the base with? What foot do you touch the base with? If you think it's the right foot, raise your right hand. If you think you should touch it with your left foot, raise your left hand. If you think you should touch it with either foot, raise both hands.
Whatever I'm timed out to do, I'm not stopping.
Wow, some people change their minds. A, B, or both of the above. Come on, give me an answer.
I prefer my right, but I'll whatever time you're.
Give me an answer. Come on, Wendy. Right foot. Right foot. Right foot.
Hey, my hands are getting fucking tired.
All right. Right foot, put your hand down. Left foot, put your hand down. All right, so here's the answer. The answer is either foot. However, there's a parenthesis here. Touch the base with whatever foot's turn it is. All right? If it's the left foot's turn, yeah, you don't want to have to skip a step just to touch it with a certain base. However, I want you to line it up. Second part of the question. I want you to line it up to touch it with right foot, raise your right hand, left foot, raise your left hand. Come on. Got to have an answer, one or the other. Line it up. So as I'm rounding this bag, do I line it up to touch it with my right foot or my left foot? The right foot is the outside foot, the left foot is the inside foot. Raise your hands high. A lot of rights. Any lefts? Lefts, keep your hands up. Left, keep your hands up. And we're gonna signal you guys out. Is that a proud left?
I'm just reading my hands.
Proud left? All right, you 5 are correct.
Well, that's not what you did.
Don't do what I do, do
Okay.
as I say.
That's why I raised my right
All
hand.
right. What did I do wrong?
You touched it with your right foot.
That wasn't the question.
I don't know what I did.
I'm allowed to touch it with which foot? Either foot. But you
it
line it up to touch it with your left foot. Why?
Because that's the way you're spinning.
Let me tell you why. This is cool. How many people have tripped going around first base or second base? Maybe you don't want to admit it and raise your hand, but how many people have
With
seen
my
somebody
right foot.
trip going around a base?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's why they do it. If you line it up to touch it with your right foot, so if you line it up to touch the inside corner with your right foot, and it's your left foot's turn, I have to do this now. I've lined it up here to touch it with my right foot, but it's my left foot's turn, all right?
You're going to trip.
Now you have to step across your body, and what usually happens next? You catch a heel, don't you? So it's the safest thing to do is to line it up as if you're going to touch it with your left foot. So then if it is the left foot's turn, you're good. Okay? If it's the right foot's turn, you're still good as well. You're lining it up to touch it with your left, you can still touch it with your right and go. Okay? Got it? That's softball 404. That's senior year of college. All right? So you just learned something, and share that with your teammates a little bit if you want. Line it up to touch it with your left foot, touch it with either foot. Got it? Pretty cool? All right, very good. So now we rounded the base. Let's talk about running through the base. This is old school baseball. All right? Which part of the base should we touch? The front, the middle, or the back?
Side.
Huh? Not the side. You're going to roll your ankle, Tracy. You're going to try to touch the front of the orange base.
Running through. Okay.
Running through.
Isn't that the fastest place you can get to?
There, you
How
want
many
to touch
split
it
second
here. You
outs?
don't want to be up here, and you definitely don't want to touch the back of it. You may have to lunge a little bit. If you're a little bit short, you may have to lunge a little bit, but you got to get there. After you cross the base, we are supposed to break down. All right, short choppy steps, and look over your right shoulder. What are you looking for? You're looking to see if the ball got away. That's a baseball field. How many of us are going to advance if it gets by anyway? A few of us.
Depends on who the first baseman is.
Yeah, yeah.
And every once in a while, you'll get a ball that'll kind of kick
It'll
maybe
kick
off a ball
away a
and it'll
little
go
bit.
that way.
But what you don't want to do is end up out in the green, and you don't want to veer off and end up over at the fence. So people used to think that you should touch it then turn this way. All right, we don't want to do that because now you're getting farther away from second base. So touch the base, break down into short choppy steps, look over your right shoulder. All right, if you see the ball and you think you can make it, go. If the ball came from third and it hits the fence and goes down the line, now you can take off and go to second base. Yes, ma'am.
We were always taught to go past first base and turn right so it doesn't show intention to go to second. You're not tagged out.
Going straight doesn't show intention either. Okay? If you turn right, you're getting farther from second base. It's a great point. How can you get tagged out? Well, if you touch and you break down and you see the ball and then you do like this and then you stop and go back, they can tag you out. Okay?
You are going slightly right though if you think about it. If you're passing the bag, okay, and we're reaching step in the front of the bag, like Bob said, short choppy step, look over our right shoulder, you're going to go out slightly. You're going to be kind of going that way anyway,
You could take
right?
a turn that
But
way.
there's no way an umpire's ever going to call you for attempt with that proper technique. Plus, like you said, Bob said, you can pick up where the ball is, make your decision quickly. Now, I'm only to here. I've looked over my shoulder. I'm only to here. I've got a quick straight line to second base instead of like the veer out like you were talking about.
So tell me now, if I get through here, I break down and take a look, and I do this, am I out?
No,
No.
it's no intent.
I did not initiate, I did not make an attempt to go to second base. So you can turn left, you can turn right, all right? So be careful not to curl away too much, all right? Find the ball, make sure everything's good, because sometimes that first baseman goes to scoop it, rolls up the arm, and it goes away a little bit. And if you're know your limitations, some of us need to be happy with that first base, all right? I just got on by an error, I'm good. Don't get thrown out going to second trying to take a bad ground ball to the pitcher and make a double out of it. Be satisfied with that one base, all right? Be happy with it. Get your pitch runner and go sit in the dugout.
Get a drink.
All right? So that's what that's all about. We want to break down, take a look, because the play's not over yet, okay? And then get yourself back to the bag. We all know we need to be on the bag when it's hit. Do you guys have a safety rule where you can stand off? Okay, you do?
Yeah, when you look down at batters,
Yeah.
you can stand back all the time.
Some leagues will allow you to do that. You just have to tell the umpire, I'm standing off, and they'll let you get out here. But then once it's hit, you have to retouch the base and go from there. All right?
That's important what he just said. If you're not, if you have that rule for safety, you cannot do this. That base has to be touched. You can be called out. Right. You have to touch George's bag again. You can't be called out for that if an umpire's sharp and sees you do that.
You can touch either bag.
If you're making an attempt on that, yes.
All right, here's the OB rule. You ready? Do not take an extra base unless you know you can make it without sliding. That's my rule. I haven't slid in 4 years, but I've hit a lot of doubles. All right? The ground is hard. I want to be available for the next pitch. All right? We definitely don't want to do any head first slides at our age. All right? Now in a tournament, if I decide to go and somebody makes a nice throw, am I going to slide? Sure I am. All right? But on league night, all right, up 15-1, am I going to slide into second base? Nope. All right? I know my body, know my limitations. All right? I want to live to see the next pitch. Okay?
I see two things, especially in rec, is they run fast and then start slowing down before they get to the base.
Yep.
And then the other is that they don't start running fast until they think there's going to be a play at
Right.
first base. So run fast the entire way.
Right.
The entire way. Don't change your speed up, just do it fast.
So we're going to talk about
Did I look at you?
we're going to
Did
talk
I
about the
look
other
at
thing
you?
in a second. Let's go to second base. Now we're on our way to second. Listen up. We're on our way to second. We rounded first good, and now we're back in here, almost in a straight line. If I think I've got a chance at third, he's fiddling with it out there, or it split the gap, and I think I can turn it into a triple. I need to go ahead and curl out again.
Make that banana.
Try to curl out so I can get heading to third base, lining it up with my left, touch it with you. You don't want to go out there and give a high five to the shortstop. Okay, you want to round it off good.
This is one of the
So
things.
get
we
your
see.
eyes up. Is the third base coach going to be helping you there? No. You're at second base. All right? That person's holding onto the balls, throwing them in on foul balls, doesn't want to be over there. You are responsible for yourself, especially out here in the middle of the field. It's your judgment whether you can make it. My rule is don't go unless you think you can make it without sliding. All right? If you think you might have to slide, that means I'm going to sprint. All right? And now it's going to be a close play. So take the double. Be happy with the double. Let the next person drive you in. Is what I'm saying. Don't try to take a double and stretch it into a triple. These aren't 3-1 ball games, are they? No.
Not often.
The scores are going to be, we're going to score runs. So don't make outs on the bases by trying to be a little too cute or trying to take too many extra bases.
It's the
Everybody understand that?
Same thing Bob was preaching. This is all about efficiency. How many times have you seen guys run bases like this? They end up way out here. You can't make 90-degree turn. Make that little banana so as soon as you get to the base and you hit the base, you're already heading right towards that base you're at, and you've saved yourself 4 or 5 steps. How many times you get thrown out by 1 step?
All right, let's talk. I don't want to scare you from sliding. Sliding is okay. All right, and it's important. But I want you to answer this question. Why do we slide?
To be able to stop.
Think about that answer. Why do you slide in the second base?
You get there faster, you can stop.
Okay, we got one here is to avoid a tag.
Faster. It's your fastest way there.
A couple people think it's the fastest way there, and 2 is they don't want to overrun the base. Those are all very, very important. All right? Slide to avoid a tag. How many times does that happen in senior softball? Very little. Very little. But yes, if the throw's coming and it brings the shortstop in here, sure, I can do me a little slide to the outside here, grab the base, you know, and work my way up. That's fine too. Yes, you can work yourself around. The biggest reason we slide at is to stop. Sliding is the fastest way to stop. All right? If you go in standing up to second base and you have to stop on the bag, you have to do what to stop on the bag? Decelerate. You got to decelerate before you get there. And if it's a force out, all right, that second baseman stretching, let's say the third baseman bobbled the ball. You're on first, routine ground, they bobbled it. You're running the second, okay? Third baseman's getting ready to throw it. If you go in standing up, you've got to slow down to get on the base, okay? It's a force out. If that second baseman catches it before you get there, you're out. So the quickest way to get there and beat that throw is to slide. The slide is what stops you. Everybody understand that? Okay? Are we going to slide with our shorts on? No. On this turf? Probably not.
Someone will do it.
So we advise you, if you're playing in a serious game, wear pants. Wear pants.
Or even a lot of people now are wearing compression pants underneath their shorts, which I wear compression pants no matter what anymore. At least that does protect you a little bit there too. But like Bob said, if it's a serious game and you're serious about it, wear the right equipment, keep yourself from injury.
I've never slid on this stuff. What's it do to you?
Right burns.
The old day, it used to be really bad. These black pellets that are in here, see those black pellets? They are there to help you slide. They help you slide along the top of the turf. The pellet gives away and moves for you. All right? Now, on a wet day, you better slide a little earlier because you may slide right on past the bag. Okay? Understand that. This does get slippery, especially you fast guys and girls. If you're going in there, you may need to start a little bit earlier. But the same thing in the mud. What happens if it's a muddy clay field? You better slide a little later. Because sometimes you'll hit that and stop, and all of a sudden you're still this far away. Uh-oh. Yeah. All right. So know the conditions and what's going on. Okay? Everybody got that? All right. Now we're on second base. I'm on second. Alan's coming up to bat. What's my responsibility? As a base runner, What's my responsibilities right now?
Rounder go.
First thing I need to do is find out how many outs there are. Huge. Our memories aren't great, are they? All right, we forget. We forget how many outs there are sometimes.
We get lost in the game sometimes, and we don't realize the moment. And like Bob said, the worst thing ever, it's a big rally killer getting thrown out on a base. So how many times you've seen a guy think there's 2 outs and there's 1, and he takes off and he gets doubled up, inning over.
So find out how many outs. Who do you ask? Do you ask the middle infielder? Huh? Do you trust this person? Anybody ever ask me how many outs? I tell them,
None.
nobody out. You're good. Look out. There's really 2. All right? That makes a difference. I need to know that, right? If there's 2 outs, I'm going on contact. All right? If there's no outs or 1 out and the ball's hit to the outfield, I got to hang out. I got to make sure it's either going to be caught. I have to make a decision whether it's far enough for me to tag up and advance, or do I need to be halfway or what we call a quarter of the way. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is know how many outs there are. Ask your base coaches, hopefully they know. Ask the umpire, there's usually a base umpire, right? Ask the umpire, hopefully you know he's awake and can tell you how many outs there are. You got to know how many outs there are. Second thing I can do, I'm going to do this. What am I looking at? I'm going to find out where my outfielders are. All right, I'm going to find out who my outfielders are. Hopefully I did a little homework before the game and I found out who has the strongest arm. Or I pick on survival of the fittest. I find out who has no arm whatsoever. All right, and I need to know who that person is. So now if a base hit gets hit to that person with no arm, I'm looking to score. I'm rounding third and I'm looking to score. If it's hit to that guy with a cannon or that girl with a cannon, all right, I'm trusting my base coach and I'm holding up maybe. I don't want to get thrown out. The worst thing could happen is you get 3 feet from being home and they call you out.
And you hear the ball hit the glove.
It's demoralizing. So understand, once you get here, this is considered scoring position. All right? This is considered scoring position. Means 1 hit and you could score from here. Not everybody can. Know your limitations, okay? And you know if it's in the gap, I can score. If it's right at somebody, hit hard at them, I might not be able to. Those are all things you got to know ahead of time. Yes, ma'am.
The other thing about knowing how many outs is whether you're being forced or not, because you don't want to cause the last out if you're not being forced.
Exactly. If it's first and second, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. If there's a runner behind you on the ground, no matter how many outs on the ground, you're forced. All right? So you got to know that. With 2 outs, you're going to run on contact. Well, on the ground, you're going to run on contact anyway, if you're being forced. If there's nobody on first and there's a ground ball to third, do you just take off? No. You creep out here a little bit. You got to know the arm of that person and that person. If the first baseman's over there and can't throw it very well, then you get off a little bit. Once the third baseman throws it across, you can advance to third, get a little closer to home.
You don't want to overcommit too much there. Bob's going to probably go through that further.
One more thing.
Well,
Because a lot of people say halfway, but you really don't want to go halfway.
Let's change that. Senior softball, it's a quarter of the way, a quarter of the way.
Exactly.
All right, and that's all you do. Get out here a quarter of the way and look and see. And that's the decision you got to make. Tagging and a fly ball to left field. Probably not. So then on the fly ball to left, I'm going to get a quarter of the way. In case they miss it.
Just in case he drops it.
If they're misjudging it, all right, if they catch it, I can get back here. What if it's a fly ball to right field? I'm tagging. And I'm reading it the whole time. I'm looking, okay, I think he's got it, Okay, he catches it, I turn and run. I'm watching it, and he loses it in the sun, or he ain't gonna catch that. Then I might better get a little extra, all right? So hang out here for a second, determine whether it's gonna be caught or not, and then get your butt going.
Also remember what Bob told you about limitations. It might be a fly ball to right field, but maybe you're not the fastest runner, and maybe they have a decent arm, but it's a shallow ball to right field. Better to be safe. Get off the bag a little bit if you have to, but here you want to be on the bag on the fly ball, okay, so that you can tag. But if, say the wind holds the ball, but he runs in and makes a catch, and he or she's 40 feet away, you might might not want to try to tag on that if you're not the fastest runner. It all goes back to be safe on the bases. Don't run unless you can get there without sliding. The OB rule.
But when in doubt, tag up. If you're not sure he or she's going to catch it, tag up. If they catch it, I advance. If they miss it, I advance. If you're hanging out here and watching, I don't know if he's going to catch that. Oh, he caught it. Now I can't advance. I got to go back to second. All right, touch it before I can go here. All right, one other advanced one. What happens if, I don't know if it happens in senior softball. Anyway, if there's a fly ball to deep left field and you're on first and you come running, all right, you're running, you're quick enough to get here, and then that person makes a great catch out in left field, and you've rounded second, all right? Oh no, he caught it. You cannot go straight back to first base. You have to retouch second base. So you understand that? If you round the base, even if it's only one step, you get here, oh, he caught it. You can't just turn around and go. You must retouch second base before you go back to first base.
It's rare, but it happens. He's describing that great play that the outfielder, the Willie Mays, over the head catch way back there, and you thought, no way on the world he's catching it. I'm taking off. You get around the bag, oops. Like Bob said, you've got to touch that bag, get back to first.
Also know that you cannot overrun a runner ahead of you. You can't run past them.
Or touch them.
You can't touch them. Okay, you can't touch them or run past them. So they may be tagging up. You read it really well. He ain't catching that. That's Joe Willie out there. He ain't catching that. So you're coming and this person's tagging. You're both looking that way, and all of a sudden there's your teammate standing there in front of you. You cannot pass them or touch them.
We've had runners called out because the
Third base coach
touched.
Yeah. You cannot assist a runner if you're coaching third or first base. Okay? Everybody got that? If you are going to tag from second and go to third, put your right foot on the base and watch the outfielder catch it. If it's over here, put your left foot on the base. Watch it get caught. Make it obvious. Make it obvious. Remember freeze tag? I want you to be freeze tag. I don't want any movement until you're ready to go. All right? Don't give me one of these. All right? The umpire sees movement, and you may mess up some of these umpires. Don't give them a reason to call you out for leaving early. Freeze. Don't move, don't move, don't move. See it caught, and then go. Got it?
Well, yesterday was good for that.
In your game?
Yeah.
See that? Somebody could have used that advice, right? All right, let's go to third. We're rounding second. Somebody's supposed to be here helping you, right? What if you're in this dugout?
You got 13 people
helping
helping you.
13 people helping you. All right. Half of them are saying go, half of them are saying stay. All right. Listen to your third base coach first. That's priority. That person is supposed to be there telling you what to do. I know we get some overzealous people in the dugout that want to tell you too. Listen to your third base coach. If you're coaching third, use hand signals as well as verbal. Stop, stop, stop. All right, go, 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 go. Too many third bases coaches will sit there and just say go, 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 go. We don't hear as well as we used to. We're running, we got wind in our ears and the whole 9 yards.
And the whole dugout.
Jerry's just standing there saying go, 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 go. He's got to give me some verbal signs, all right? Non-verbal, I should say. All right, let them know, let them know. Third base coach is allowed to move a little bit, can get down the line a little bit. You don't want to be standing here coaching third as the runner's rounding it, because you want to get down the line a little bit and help out.
I imagine your guy probably in the game you said got called out. Your third base coach is probably too close into the field of play, and now the guy's either got to go way around him or he out.
The runner went out to about here,
yeah.
And he was out of the box over there.
Yeah. It's better for him to be down the line,
right?
You know, and he can also, you can pick him up, as you're coming. And like Bob said, the key thing is this is something you can take back to your teams, because we all chip in to be base coaches. Some teams have dedicated ones, but this and this is the best thing that he said there. Because when you go, 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 stop, 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 and like you said, there's 13 guys in the dugout saying contradictory things. How are you going to pick up what the coach says? Not easy to do. So this is a real good learning lesson for all of us. You take that back to your teams and say, listen, I learned something in camp, and I think we all should know.
Okay. Round third, of course, we've got the scoring line in seniors, so you don't have to get to the center so much. Always remember, get to that scoring line. We got the commitment line. Everybody knows the rule on the commitment line, right? We don't need to go over that. Okay. Now we've established third base. We're on third. We're in scoring position. All right. Less than 2 outs. Any ball hit towards the outfield. Any ball hit to the outfield, I want you to tag up. If they catch it, you can score. If they miss it, you can score. Do not go a quarter of the way on a fly ball to the outfield. We need you to score. All right. Again, know the arms. Know the depth. How far did it go? All right. Make sure it's deep enough for you to make it. Understand that? Keep that line. What if you're on third base and the line drive comes at you? Your reflex is going to be to do what?
Try not to get hit.
Get out of the way. All right. Ah! Bam! I get hit. I'm out. All right. What if it hits me while I'm on the base? I'm good. All right. I'm good. Fair ball. All right. Live ball or dead ball?
Live ball.
Live ball. As long as I'm behind, I'm in front of the fielder. Okay.
Take one for the team. Don't do that.
Not with Tom Breck hit.
And then, so the best way to avoid it is to get in foul territory. If it hits you in foul territory, you're okay. Foul ball, dead ball, no biggie. Okay? Everybody understand that? All right? Nothing else here. Again, commitment line, get around here. My biggest pet peeve is, as an umpire, this dugout here, too many people get out here. You got 2 on deck a lot of times. Our rule in Florida House Century is you're allowed 2 on deck. All right? Now that on deck hitter on the base hit gets out there to get the darn bat. For some reason, it's an emergency that we got to go get the bat. You're around in third. You got an on deck guy here. You got a base coach here, and you got a bat boy there. All right? You're running the gauntlet. You're dodging people trying to get home and score. All right? So if you're in this dugout, make sure you tell your people, give them room. Relax. That bat'll be okay. We'll go get it after. All right? Don't go getting in an interference. All right? Third base coach. Pop fly over here. All right? Third base coach is in the box, Gary. In the box. I'm looking up. I'm going after a fly ball. All right? I run into Gary. What's the call?
Nope.
No call.
Nope. No call. The play is the play.
Why is it not interference? No, that's wrong. There is no safe haven. There's no such thing as a safe haven. You cannot obstruct a person fielding a ball. You've got to get out of the way. Okay? It's a trick question. A lot of people think that I'm safe in the coach's box. No, that's where you have to be, but you still got to get out of the way. You cannot. On deck batter can't obstruct. Any guys out in front of the dugout can't, obstruct, and the base coach can't obstruct. If that person's going after you got to get out of their way. Right? You got to get your bats out of the way as well. They step on a bat, your weight bat or your donut, they step on that. All right, batter's out. Or worse, sometimes they'll call the closest runner to scoring out. All right, everybody understand that? Any questions? Tagging up here, it's pretty easy. All right, let's put on the bag and look, make sure it's caught. Do you listen to your third base coach to tell you when to go? Huh? No. Because there's some tricky third basemen out there. All right, third baseman's watching it. The ball's 10 feet from the outfielder's glove, and they go, go! All right? You're standing here, and here's some people waiting for the coach to tell me when to go. They hear go, they take off. Now you left early. They don't know who said it. Somebody in the dugout may say it as well. I've done that a time or two. If I see the person not looking, I'm looking for that stuff. I'm a coach. If I see that third base the runner standing here and I'm in that dugout, I don't want anybody to see that I did it. That's called verbal interference. Verbal interference if they catch you. And then I thought I was going to be cute one day. I said, oh man, here's what I'm going to do. On a fly ball to left field, instead of standing here and tagging, I'm going to get back here and get a running start. All right? As that ball's coming down, I'm going to get a running start, make sure I touch the base after it's caught, and get home. Cool, right?
No, I think you're wrong.
No, we can't do that. You know?
You have to be on the base when the play is being made. I'll add one other little trick that I saw a guy do one time and it worked. Bob was saying the third baseman was here and he'd go. I saw a third baseman one time take his hand and go like that in his glove to make the sound of a catch. The guy wasn't paying attention and he left a half a step early and the umpire called him out. No one saw what he did. It was a good one. But that's why it just reinforces what Bob says. You make the decision. You watch when the ball hits the glove, you go.
Okay? You watch it get caught, freeze. See it caught, and then go. Any questions?
I'm still confused about interference versus obstruction and those bang plays at the base.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Okay, yeah.
We'll pretend it's here. All right. Going into second base. All right. We all know on a double play ball, you have to slide or get out of the way. Slide or get out of the way. Okay. We all also know that we cannot interfere with a person making a play on the ball. Okay. So if he's standing on the back turning two and I slide and pop up so fast that I did a pop-up slide. I slid in a second, my weight brought me up and I popped up and I bumped into him. I slid. Oh, the rule says I got to slide or get out of the way. I slid. But I still interfered with the person making a play. It's a double play. Okay? Got to get out of the way. You can't interfere with somebody making a play. Now,
pretty much anytime you contact another player making a play, you're going to, any umpire that sees that, you're going to be called out on the second.
So sometimes we're pretending we're a second game, and I've got to throw. That's first. Okay. Shortstop throws me the ball on the second baseman. I catch it. And we're going to do this in a little while, and I go to turn a double play. All right. And the runner, I got to slide or get out of the way. I'm coming in here and I veer this way to get out of the way. And boom, he's over here now trying to turn a double play. Whose fault?
Runners.
Mine. I cannot interfere with a person making a play. Okay? That's called interference. If it's done by the offense, it's called interference. If it's done by the defense, it's called obstruction. Okay? Did that answer? Is that enough?
Yes.
Slide or get out of the way. Now, some senior rules have a rule that if you give yourself up and get out of the way, and then that second baseman drops the ball, in the Florida half century, we allow the runner second base. He gave himself up so he wouldn't interfere. All right? The second baseman dropped the ball. But because I gave myself up, the second baseman was able to pick it up and step on second before I got there. We allow that runner safe. We call him safe at second.
That's kind of a hometown rule. Check your own rules.
Right.
They've done that again.
We go by senior softball rules, but I like that idea.
Yeah, it's a great safety rule again. So to further what Bob showed you, we have to get out of the way again. Coming to second base, if we see that the person taking the relay is getting ready to turn the double play to first base, we shouldn't veer this way because we are going to get called, out for that. We need to veer this way. Okay?
Hold on, all right, you go ahead and veer that way, big boy. I'm the second baseman. Go ahead and veer that way.
I'm doing it if he's already moving in position.
So you're reading me.
I've read you, he's already
because
there.
We're going to teach our middle infielders in a little bit that if the throw takes me this way, I'm going to catch it here and I'm going to go to the inside and throw it out.
So we must read it.
So it doesn't mean don't veer outside. You have to veer away from the person making the play.
I used
Not
the
interfere.
example on Bob being on this side, but he expanded further. He's exactly right. We have the responsibility of reading the play and veering either way to get out of the way. Because anytime that we don't, we're going to get called out.
All right, couple more. We have
Horse,
more.
I got a question. This happened in a rundown situation. Okay. The fielder is not active. Is anybody involved in the rundown? In the rundown? Are they considered in the play, even if they're not?
The easiest way to get out of a rundown is to run into somebody. Find somebody that's no longer making a play. If Alan just threw it, you know, if I'm going this way and Alan just threw it, and I turn around and I see Alan right there, I'm going to run into him. That's going to get me out of it. He is now in my way.
Okay.
He is no longer catching or throwing the ball.
He's out of the play.
The easiest way to get out of a rundown is find somebody, run at them, tackle them. All right?
But with the
And
caveat
then-
is you can't be getting out of that 3-foot lane.
Right. Yeah, you can't
Well,
like
you
if,
gotta
if
stay
I'm
in the
standing
face.
Yeah,
there-
I can't turn around and see him over there and go over here and go, obstruction! No, you can't do that.
I've seen that too.
Yeah,
Just
find
out
that
of
person
kind of
that's
fun.
close to you and run into him.
And
now,
that's
if
not
they're getting ready
actually
to
like
catch it,
receiving the throw, right? Yeah.
if
yeah.
they're getting ready
involved
to
in the
catch
play.
it, you don't want to run
Right,
through
right.
them.
So can a defender block the bag?
Not without the ball.
If he's there to wait for the ball.
Not without the ball. If Alan's standing there, come up a little bit. If Alan's right there and I'm running the third and he don't have the ball and it's not running there, if I hit him, I'm safe.
Even if he's standing right
Yeah,
next to the
he
bag.
cannot block the base without the ball. If he has the ball, now I can't run into him.
The ball's in flight, he's waiting for it.
If he's making a play, if he's waiting to catch it, it's okay. Yeah, it's a judgment call.
That could be a split second call. Second baseman, we're at third now. The second baseman has the ball and he hasn't really started throwing yet. And Bob runs into me here. That's a safe call. But he's got the ball. He's getting ready to throw. Now he's actively involved in the play. I cannot do that.
One last note. I'm on third base and a pop fly foul is hit down the right field line. Okay? What do? Tag on the bag. Only way I can advance on a foul ball is if it's caught and I tag up. Doesn't hurt you to get back here on the bag and be watching. Okay, the ball gets caught, you can score. Foul territory. All right, fair territory, you can advance. Yes, ma'am.
When you're turning
You want to be able to see the ball get caught. Yeah, you want to be able to see the ball get caught. So if it's in left field and left center field, put your right foot on the base and look so you can see it.
you're like
Yep.
this facing the
So
back.
that, now you're facing the
See
outfield.
that whole thing. Now if it's right,
Put your left foot on.
yeah,
Yeah. You want to be able to see it caught. Great job. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Ground ball or line drive, and the runner gets hit by the ball. When is he out? When is he maybe not out? Is there a time?
If you're running and you get hit by a ball before a fielder has a chance to field it, you are out. You are out. It's a dead ball. You're out. The batter gets awarded a base hit and gets first base. Okay, as a base runner, you cannot get hit by a batted ball.
What if you're on the bag and you get hit by a batted ball?
On the bag, you're safe.
You got that one. Sometimes the first baseman plays in front of the bag.
If the first baseman misses it and it hits you, it's live ball.
I'm not out.
You're not out. If an infielder, besides the pitcher, had a chance to field the ball and it misses, it hits you, run. Infield fly roll. When is the infield fly roll in effect? First and second, or first, second, third, less than 2 outs. Right? The rule is, if it can be caught by an infielder with minimal effort, okay? Minimal effort. It's a judgment call by the umpire. As umpires, we warn each other. Every time there's a infield fly situation, we give a sign. Infield fly rule's in effect. All right? If it's on the line here, borderline foul or foul, umpire should yell infield fly is fair. There's not an infield fly rule is foul. That rule was put into play so the infielder can't drop it on purpose and that's what it's there to protect the runner. Infield fly rule, batter's out. What if the shortstop drops the ball and you're on second base?
Stay.
Michelle, what are you doing?
Advancing
You gonna stay? Okay. Safest thing is to stay. If he misses it and it hits off his foot and rolls into right field, can you advance?
Yes.
Yes, can.
Lots of trouble. Don't even make an effort.
Hopefully the
Still
umpire
out.
yelled infield fly rule. Who doesn't know the rule? You cannot advance on an infield fly rule. Alright? You can advance on an infield fly rule if it's missed, but if you're on your own risk if you go. I kind of look to see if he's got underneath it in time. Sometimes we have to call it really, really late.
You get a good shortstop that's playing way back here. Okay? And then the ball goes up and he's not, is this an infield fly, Bob?
Yes, it is. Even if it's in the green part of the grass.
Green and still be an infield fly.
So-
Anytime you see those real high flies, Brad Stillwell and catch balls halfway in the outfield.
So what about the reverse, where it's a pop-up, and the second base, it's pop-up in front of the second baseman, and he's like looking at it and just waiting for the call, and isn't making a move towards it, or
You don't
or you
hear
know
the call.
he's 72 years old and he doesn't have the legs to get there.
Yeah, if it wasn't called and the ball falls, you need to go.
Live ball.
You need to
How
go.
about the intentional drop?
Well, that's what we're saying. If it's an intentional drop, do not. You can go if you want, but you do not have to run. If you're on second base and the infield fly is called and they intentionally drop it, you do not have to run. All right?
Most of the time, in that situation, I don't know, Bob, we'll give a number. I would say 80-85% of the time, you're not running. Not running.
Yeah, no need to. That's what we just
That's
talked
what that's
the only
infield
time
fly.
it's
That's
in
the only
effect.
time infield fly is in effect when there's runners on first and second, less than 2 outs.
If the umpire called infield fly rule, huh?
We in our 70s league, we don't have.
There's no infield fly in that.
Oh, interesting.
Because it was the issue about.
No, but that's fine. If there's no
nothing
infield
to
fly
worry
rule and they drop it, you got to go.
Yeah. Why
And
did
I've
they
seen it happen where they did
Too many, because of what I described, too many people
Pikes.
calling an infield fly when they had no capability of catching it.
Okay.
Like the pitcher with the net. It's like
Right.
pitcher couldn't get around the net fast enough, but he would just stand there and say, "Infield fly."
It's like an inadvertent whistle. If the umpire calls it, it's good. If you had the rule where there is no infield fly, then you got to read it and see if it falls, you got to go.
We just learned something new. I've never heard of it.
We just implemented that this year.
How we got to that, Alan, is that we've heard umpires at actual tournaments in the 65 and 70s say there is no such thing as ordinary effort for a 70-year-old softball player. And it's even more true.
I get it. I get it. That's cool. I just never heard it.
All right, any other questions?
Quick comment, going back to what you started with about verbal communication rather than physical. In the teams I play on, we don't talk when we're the coach. It's all hand signals because we don't want to tell the infielders
What's
that
going
there's
on.
going to be a play.
That's great.
And then the other rule is if I don't stop you, you go. So unless I'm holding up a stop sign, the expectation is you're going to score.
That's communication with your team, and I don't have any problem with that as long as everybody on your team knows that.
Verbal interference, as they call it, you're early here, but you can't have verbal interference happens when if somebody says something, causes a defender to change his whatever he's doing. For instance, if there's a ball down the left field line, all right, and the catcher yells foul ball when it's fair, all right, and now the outfielder for some reason stops, doesn't go after or whatever, that's verbal interference. You said something, right, to cause the defender to do something or a runner to do something different.
So if you are the third baseman and you yell go right before the throw is caught,
That could be
That
verbal
could be called verbal interference, yes.
Because you're causing, now you've said something to make that guy go. The biggest thing is fair and foul. Everybody knows an umpire on a fair ball doesn't say anything, they just signal. Alright? The only time they call anything is if they say foul. If it's foul, they're supposed to call it and signal.
going from second to third and pop up to the shortstop because I got it. That's considered.
Verbal interference. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, sometimes catchers like to talk a whole lot back there. Alright? If a catcher or somebody says illegal. Here's the one where it really happens. Is pitcher throws one 15 feet and you got guys in the dugout yelling illegal. Now, if it's an on-deck guy that says it, and now the batter takes the pitch because he heard illegal and it hits the board, right? Unfortunately, it was verbal interference from his own guy.
Yeah, I saw that 2 weeks ago.
But it can happen, so don't play umpire while you're out there because there is such a thing as verbal interference. Okay?
Catcher calls it.
Yeah, the catcher's the one that usually gets one of those. All right, he can say good pitch and stuff like that, but you know you can't say legal, illegal, fair or foul, and any of that. All right, great segment. Everybody learn anything there? All right, rinse your mouse out, grab your gloves. It's time to do a little bit of throwing.